Well, welcome back, everybody, to your favorite Monday night programming. Of course, listen, we're a little late, but it's not our fault. We're in a network over here, people. Some others enjoy doing shows as well. We had to let them, be on their grind for a little bit. But we're here. We're back. Some would say better than ever. And, I got to figure out the main important question, of course. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been annoying shoveling out the car every morning. That has definitely been my least favorite thing, especially because Boog, when I leave the house, he jumps out the window barking and everything. And it just made it worse because he was just yelling at me the whole time. I'm like, dude, come on. This already sucks. But other than that, the bets have been falling. So it's been going good. How are you, Connie? Congrats on the job.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna say, we're chilling. I posted it today. I mean, I've known for like a week now, but posted it. Your boy got a nice little broadcast. Well, not see, it's weird because like broadcast, you would think that means I'm like broadcasting the game. I'm more of like a cameraman and like doing graphics and replay and things like that. So I'm part of the crew. Crew. But yeah, at my at the local single A minor league baseball team over here. And by the way, it's for the Yankees, so that's even better. Maybe I'll move up one day, be working for those guys. But yeah, I'm excited. It starts in April. Hopefully it doesn't mess with all of my shows too much. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. Back in school, which I'm not excited about. Let me tell you something. I've done very well in my first couple journalism classes. And this one, I decided to take like this class. Like this dude came in. He's like worked at like the Washington Post, works at the Atlantic now, so he's like a big deal. Blah blah. Bro, I can already tell your boy might struggle with this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ready? You ready for this? As a journalism student, you would think I'm very good at like grammar and things like that. Well, you would be wrong. My grammar, not very good. Like I literally still to this day cannot tell you where a comma actually goes. Like, still can't tell you.
I vaguely remember certain times you're supposed to use them, but then other
Like,
than
I
that, I'm
usually
pretty sure
throw
it's
it in
wrong.
after like a but.
Yeah.
And
But when
things
you're
like
listing
that,
stuff, bro, that's the worst because I never know.
the
You
what?
just know when you're like, there's multiple things you're writing, and you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like there should be multiple commas. It's like I don't know.
No. Like, I'm good, bro. I like I don't know what I'm doing. So, but yeah, I mean, I was complaining to Josh like my Tuesdays. I'm there from 9:30 in the morning to 7 at night. So that's
That's a
always
full-time
fun.
job, man.
Yeah, right. That's more than a full time job. Usually 9 to 5.
You're working
Yeah,
overtime. You're working overtime.
exactly. This would be pain. And see, the worst part is like, so I'm technically 20 minutes away. Like my house is 20 minutes away from the school. I have a 3 hour break from my first class to my second class. And it's like to the point where I don't want to drive all the way back home to drive all the way back and then to drive all the way back home again. First of all, because of gas. And second of all, like it just doesn't feel worth it. But like the fact, bro, me sitting there for 3 hours really makes me want to cry sometimes.
Yeah, that's
It's
tough.
just not a good time.
That is
It's not a
tough.
good time. But you know what? We move on. We survive. But listen, let's get into enough of me and everything going on. We got some sports to actually talk about. And Josh, listen, I'm gonna have you take it away here because we got the Hermanson and Strickland recap. And listen, I had it on the TV. I wasn't really watching. I'm not gonna lie. I can't sit here and lie to the people, of course. So wasn't really paying attention. I know that Strickland won. Um, there was one fight though that I did pay attention to where they were just killing each other.
I did not watch any fights other than the Strickland or Manson. I wasn't home.
Interesting.
I
There was
barely made
one
it to
fight.
this.
I don't know if it was. I don't think it was the co-main event.
No, that fight sucked. I heard it was just a wrestling match.
All right, so I don't know what fight I'm talking about. There was one fight where they were going back and forth with each other, just standing there. It was rough. It was rough. But give me your thoughts on everything, Josh.
Yeah, I predicted Sean Strickland knockout in the first two rounds. And I feel like that would have happened if he fought like himself, but he didn't fight like himself until like the last minute when he started talking shit. Because that's Sean Strickland. He's gonna talk shit because he's a crazy person who's not afraid to get hit. Like he just talks shit. If you watch the two fights prior to this, he's sitting there calling his opponents a pussy, bitches, and all that stuff. He's talking mad shit. But this fight he didn't. He looked really composed. He wasn't really doing too much, and honestly, he won this fight with just his left hand jab. And his left hand jab is one of the best in the game, and he was killing him with it. Hermanson, I said it last week. I think he's an overrated fighter. I think he's good, but I don't think because he was ranked sixth and Strickland was ranked seventh heading into this fight, and that's just crazy to me that people think Hermanson's a better fighter than Strickland. Connie, if you had to guess, like if you're throwing head punches, you threw 194 of them. What would you say is like a bad number of those that landed? Like if you landed
If I
that many,
throw 194,
like what's a bad number?
all right, a bad number, I'm going like 50.
Like 50? Yeah. Jack Hermanson threw 194 head strikes and landed 22.
Yeah, see?
22 head strikes. He threw a 353 total strikes, landed 137. He was using a lot of energy and was not landing a lot. Sean Strickland was a lot of credit to Sean Strickland for dodging a lot of them, but a lot of the punches he was throwing were just kind of pointless. Uh, yeah, Strickland. They called it a split decision. I don't know how anyone could have thought Jack Hermanson won that fight. Strickland's jab was extremely accurate the whole entire fight. Was hitting him through his guard the whole time. So I had it 3-2 Strickland. Like it was a closer fight than I'm making it sound. I had it 3-2 Strickland, but that's just because he didn't really do a lot in those other two rounds. He just kind of hung around and just walked around the ring. But yeah, it was a pretty good fight for Strickland. I don't think he really did enough because, well, might as well get into UFC 271. Strickland's a middleweight fighter. Most of the middleweight fighters have already been beaten by Izzy once or twice for the belt. So when you look at the people in that division, Marvin Vittori, Paulo Costa, Robert Whitaker, who Izzy is fighting this upcoming Saturday, I think Strickland could get the next shot. I know the middleweight fight on the main card this weekend, not Izzy's fight, but Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. The guy who wins that's probably going to get the next title shot. But I think Strickland's better than both of them. I think he's probably the person with the best chance to possibly take Izzy the distance and maybe win by decision. I mean, this is Izzy's division. It's going to be until someone as skilled as him shows up. But I think Strickland has the best chance. But Izzy versus Whitaker, I encourage Connie. I don't know if you watched the first fight between them.
I don't believe I did.
It's on YouTube. The UFC put it out there recently.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah, so because I mean, obviously Whitaker got knocked out, but he had moments in that fight where really, even the moment he got knocked out, he was pressuring Izzy and he landed a nice right, but Izzy just connected right after. So, and I think Whitaker's gotten better since then. He hasn't lost a fight since. He's been fighting really well. So I think it's going to be a really good fight. Obviously, I think Izzy's going to be a heavy favorite on the sports books, and I think he's probably going to win the fight. But I wouldn't count Whitaker out. I mean, if Pena can beat Nunes, I don't think Izzy's unbeatable either. So it's going to be a good
see that
fight.
they're the next Ultimate Fighter coaches?
They are?
Yeah, Pena and
that's awesome. That's awesome.
and Nunez.
Yeah, that's going to be great because they're going to fight again. And yeah, that's going to be great.
That's the finale.
Really? Okay. I like that. I like that. They always do a great job with that, with setting it up. Like when it was, who was it?
I never
It was
watched any of
TJ
the Ultimate
Dillashaw.
Fighters.
I've only watched like moments from them. I've never watched the full episodes or anything, but I've heard they're pretty good. But the other two fights that I really want to touch on, Jared Cannonier and Derek Brunson. Obviously, I said that the winner of this is probably gonna fight Izzy, and I definitely think Derek Brunson's a better fighter than Jared Cannonier. I think they're pretty similar in their styles, but I think Derek Brunson's he's more in his prime. I think Cannonier's kind of on the back end of his. So I'm going to take Derek Brunson in that one. And then for all the people who hated Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane and didn't enjoy the wrestling match between Ngannou and Gane, this is a fight where you're going to see two big fellas throw hands, Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa. Someone's going down early. Like, they're not going to wait. Tai Tuivasa wants to get his shoey off. Derek Lewis wants to knock another guy out. It's not going to last long, but it's going to be really fun to watch. And it's really tough to not take Tuivasa with how he's been fighting lately, knocking everybody out. So I'm going to go with Tuivasa. I wouldn't be surprised if Derek Lewis knocked him out, but I'm going to go Tuivasa. So I'm taking Tuivasa, Derek Brunson, and obviously Izzy.
Listen, the second fight you said, no idea. Brunson, sure, why not? Tuivasa, I literally have to pick him because of the shoey. Listen, I have seen his last 2 or 3 fights, I want to say, because it just seems like he's always on one of the undercards of like a event that I actually watch. So I'm gonna go with him, even though, like you said, would anybody be surprised if Derek Lewis knocked him out? Like, no, not really. But Tuivasa looks very impressive, like you said. And who doesn't want to see another shoey? So I'm going for him. And then Izzy's he's the last style bender, man.
Yeah.
He is the last style bender for a reason. There's nobody really like him, obviously. And until somebody, it's kind of, for me, there's always like those people in certain sports that's like, all right, until it happens, like I can't really vote against them. Like until people beat Brady, I was like, all right, I'm going to go with him. Until somebody takes it away from Ngannou, I'm probably going to go with him. Until somebody actually beat John Jones, I was going to go with him. And to me, he's just one of those guys. Honestly, Usman is too.
Yeah.
Tell somebody to beat Usman, I'm going with him all the way. I don't care if he's an underdog, favorite, underdog fantasy. You know what I mean? Code Gen Z, double your first deposit up to $200. I'm just saying. Especially with the Super Bowl going on right now, they got a special line, by the way. 1 pass yard for Mr. Joe Burrow. I mean, how could you not take that? You got to pair it with one other thing.
Just pick one thing right, and you can get some free money.
Exactly. So, had to throw the little hashtag ad in there. You know what I mean? But yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But we'll move on to the NBA. And we've had some trades go down. We have had some trades. Norman Powell went to the Clippers. Karis LeVert went to the Cavs. And obviously the trade deadline is this Thursday. So, Josh, I'm curious what you think of the other people that are going to be on the move.
Yeah, well, I'll start with two teams involved in both of these trades. The Blazers, that Gary Trent Jr. trade is going to bite them in the ass forever because he's playing so well. And they traded him and Rodney Hood for Norman Powell last year around March. And the return and Robert Covington, they gave up 2 first-round picks for. And they essentially turned Norman Powell and Robert Covington in this trade for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Keon Johnson. I can't say is a bad trade piece because we don't know what he is yet. He's a rookie. He hasn't really seen the court for the Clippers, so we'll see how he does. And the second-round pick, they got fleeced. This is obviously them getting ready to blow it up because I don't know how you trade Norman Powell for that little of a return and Robert Covington for that little of a return and say you're still going to try to build a championship team around Dame. Like, you just traded 2 pieces that you got for that for absolutely nothing. So that's a bad trade. And we've been waiting to kind of see where Karis LeVert goes. The Pacers said that they were going to shop all their guys, and Karis LeVert now finally does end up on a team where he might be able to contribute to actually winning. The Cavs are playing the best ball they have since LeBron. Before LeBron even, too. They sucked then, so it's been the best basketball they've played in 20 years. So I'm happy for Karis LeVert to get on a contender. And all they gave up, I mean, Ricky Rubio is an expiring contract, and he's out for the season. So that's kind of not really losing anything. Obviously, they give up a first, but I don't think that really matters too much either. It's lottery protected, too. So, if it's outside the top 12 or 13, it's going back to them. But, it's the Pacers and the Blazers are obviously blowing it up. Those are 2 things that are well known. They both said that they're probably going to do it. But some other players that I think could happen. I don't think the Harden for Simmons and Seth Curry is going to happen. I think
hate
so.
that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I hate that it's not going to happen, I should say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it – I think it makes sense for the Nets.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But for the Sixers, the package is just starting with Seth Curry and Ben Simmons. That doesn't mean Matisse Thybulle and picks aren't going to be in that trade. So I don't think Harden makes them better if they lose those two, and the value of Ben Simmons. But the other teams
But
or
what is the
players,
value of Ben Simmons? That's the problem.
it's
It's zero.
it's not really zero. I don't, because you got to look
He's
at
not
how,
doing anything for you.
but you know what he can do. You know what he's
Yeah, but
capable
he can't
of.
do nothing if he ain't on the court. Josh,
Right,
how
but
valuable am I to you as a co-host if I don't show up to the show?
right, but if you stop showing up, it's like, well, when he comes back, it's going to be really good. You know,
What if
like,
I? But what if I just don't come back?
see, that's the risk you're running because you don't know. I mean, I don't think Ben Simmons is never going to play again. I think he's just waiting to get out of Philly. So I think he does still have value. It's definitely dropped since. Like, I think it's even lower than when he didn't dunk the ball over Trae Young. I think it's even lower than that right now. But I don't know. The Nets have come out and said that they aren't talking to the Sixers about a trade, and everybody's believing it. But we've seen teams do this before. They're just denying until it happens. But it'd be cool to see the trade, to see what Harden and Embiid could do together. That would be cool, but I don't know. I don't like it for the Sixers too much. But other players, I think, can be on the move by Thursday. Dennis Schroeder on the Celtics. It just hasn't really worked out. He hasn't been too good off the bench for them. He's on a 1-year deal, pretty cheap deal, so they might be able to flip him just for something, anything, maybe a pick or something, because they're going to lose him in the offseason, probably not going to bring him back. Colin Sexton, we've heard that they're going to break up Sexland at some point. We don't know when, but I don't know. I think getting Karis LeVert, who's a 2 guard, kind of taking up what Colin Sexton does, and he hasn't played a lot this year at all, if any. I don't know if he got injured early in the year or just hasn't played, but I could see him being on the move for another asset for this playoff run they're about to make. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, Jeremy Grant doesn't want to be in Detroit. He wants to be on a team where he's still the number one scorer. He also wants $80 million a year, but how can you have both of that when you can't help Detroit at all either? I mean, nobody's going to give up
Very
that much.
bold, honestly.
Absolutely. And then the Pacers again, Sabonis, Turner, and Brogdon. I think they'll all be gone by the end of the year. Be very interesting to see where Sabonis goes. I could see Golden State making a push for him. I don't know what they'd be willing to give up, though. That'd be the tough thing because Wiggins was looked at as a trade asset before this season, but now he's a all-star starter, which
I
is
was about
also
to say,
shocking.
everybody want to be an all-star now.
Yeah. So I could see him. Well, they're all going to be on the move. They're all going to be on the move. And then Buddy Hield, I could see a team making a push for him. I think a contender for sure could use him. I know the Lakers want him, but they don't got any assets for him. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets moved. Same with Marvin Bagley. I think his time in Sacramento is coming to an end. It hasn't worked out. He was the second or third pick a while ago. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Was that the Luka draft? Luka and Trae Young behind him?
Was it?
Because I think it went Ayton. I think it went Ayton, Bagley, Trae.
I'll tell you right now.
Something like
Marvin Bagley draft. 2018, he was the second pick.
that. That might be the Markelle Fultz draft then. I don't know because Lonzo was 2. Yeah, that had to have been the Trae Young, Luka draft.
Does it show me who else was in his? You know what? How about we hit him with one of these? Really, I can't go back now. All right, here we go. 2018 NBA draft class. Look at that. That's the next link. Let's see. That would have been Ayton. Yeah, you're right. Ayton, Bagley, Luka, Jaren Jackson, Trae Young. We got Mr. Bamba. Wendell Carter Jr., Colin Sexton, Kevin Knox, McCall Bridges, our boy Shy, Miles Bridges.
That draft is going to go down as one of those kind of, Hakeem went 1, Sam Bowie went 2, Jordan went 3. That's going to be one of those, like, if Ayton turns out to be. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good draft class if you look back at it. I mean, the thing is, see, like how you were right about Josh
not
Allen.
A bad player. Okay, I mean, hey.
I was so sure Kevin Knox was going to be the next great scorer, great player in this league. So sure about it, dude.
It's so weird looking at like who everybody was drafted by too. Technically, like Shy was drafted by the Hornets.
Yeah, traded for Miles Bridges,
and then Miles Bridges was drafted Yeah, by the Clippers. Let's see. Who else? Somebody else on here was weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other two players for the trade talk, I could see a team going after some Rockets pieces that aren't super young. Eric Gordon, I think he has shown his value. He showed his value with the James Harden playoff teams that he can be a big piece in the playoffs, and also Christian Wood. I think he's kind of in a weird spot because he's young, but he's also good now. And it's like, do you want him around for when Jalen Green and Kevin Porter hit that next step? Or do you want to flip him for some picks and some assets while he's still valuable? I could definitely see a team that needs a big going after him. And then for our Thunder, uh, I get that we're just, kind of playing it safe. We got the picks and everything. But at some point, we're going to need a fucking center. At some point, we have to quit playing 6'8" guys at the five. At some point, that's got to happen. And we had a chance in the draft. We had Alperen Şengün and traded him away to the Rockets, which I don't hate the trade because we wound up getting a couple of nice young pieces. But go after a Mo Bamba. Go after Jalen Smith in Phoenix, who's already going to be a free agent this year. So go after these young centers that aren't getting. Go after Bol. Everybody's trading for Bol. They're only giving up a second round pick. Let's go get Bol and give a damn shot. I mean, Derek Favors is going to be gone next year, and after that, we don't have a center. Jeremiah
Let's man
Robinson.
Bobo casually be hitting threes.
He's a bucket, dude. I mean, he
Like
just doesn't. I
casually.
mean, how is he supposed to get minutes in Denver with Jokic there? And now where's he traded to? Boston? They're just doing the same thing they did with Taco Falls, just for people buy tickets. That's all they got Bobo for. So I mean, the Thunder need to go get a center, but outside of that, yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of. I want there to be a lot of moves because the trade deadlines in recent years haven't been that great outside of the Harden trade. So I'm hoping maybe another Harden trade just make some moves. So far, it started good. I like the trade so far. Norman Powell played. I bet against the Clippers again. I don't know why I did it. I picked the Bucks money line and they were up 25, and I was so scared when they went up 25, and they wound up cutting it to a 9-point game, but the Bucks closed it out. I don't know why I bet against him, but Norman Powell's debut, he had 26 and 23 minutes. Robert Covington looked good. I think next year when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard get healthy, that's going to be a huge pickup for them. Because as a catch and shoot guy, he's really good. But when you ask him to do a lot of other things, he's not that good. But when Paul George and Kawhi come back, he's going to be in heaven where he's playing. Like, he's going to be exactly where he wants to be.
See, you got everybody else right. I want to, Josh. I'm trying to sit here and stick to the meat and potatoes of this. I want to know if, first of all, Dame's Mr. Partner in Crime, CJ McCollum, is going anywhere. I can sense it coming. And listen, I
I
want to
don't know.
know if our guy, Mr. Trip Dub, Mr. Rusty Westbrook, is going anywhere too, because it's not too.
Who
It's not
wants him,
looking
though?
too
Who's going
pretty
to take
over
him?
there in LA.
Who's going
The
to take
LA Walkers.
Who's going to take Russell Westbrook? Who?
Knicks.
I love that. But are they willing? What are they going to give up? Kemba?
I mean, you got to make the money
Fournier?
work. So, do they throw?
Fournier
Do
is
they give
beating them for
Randall
the money.
back? Do they
I
give
would.
Randall back?
That'd be insane. That'd be insane. I want them to trade Randall too. I think that's got to be the move.
I think. Listen, I think it might happen because this man Randall. I don't know what this little mean. He must have been in New York too long because now he's on a little bit of a mean streak.
Why is he pushing the
Arguing with the
coach's
flipping
computer
off
like
the
that?
fans, and then he doesn't do media availability. Now he's getting into arguments with the computer guy over there on the
Yeah,
sideline.
what
Been
did
in
he
New
do?
York too long. It's starting to get to him.
Yeah, I think they got to move on from him because I think at
God,
best
that
when
contract's
Randall's
going to be
playing his
so bad
best,
for them.
yeah. I mean, Julius Randle picked the right time to be a hooper, but hasn't looked too good this year.
So, exactly though. So, what do? You throw a little Randall in there. You throw some other pieces. I think the only way that they don't do a trade for Westbrook is if you have to throw an RJ.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, shit, you traded for Cam Reddish for no damn reason. Apparently, Tom
No
Thibodeau
reason.
doesn't like that man, which I don't get at all. I think Tibbs and Randall got to go if the Knicks want to turn this roster into something
Well,
that
Tibbs hates
competes
young
for
people.
title. Yeah, he hates them. Hates them.
Like how usually old people are annoying. Nah, Tibbs hates the youngins.
I bet he'd bench RJ if he wasn't a top pick. Like if he wasn't as highly touted as he is, he'd have him on the bench for sure. He doesn't want that man to play.
What's good, Perry? But no, it's so, and he only plays like 7 people.
Yeah, yeah, that's Tibbs. That's always been him in his days in Chicago. 5-man rotation. We play in the starters. The rest of you can watch.
Do you
He's
think that got D Rose hurt or what?
no, I'm not gonna say that. I can't do Tibbs dirty like that. That
I
was
mean,
just
hey, maybe
Derrick
this
Rose.
man
Derrick
get
Rose
him
did
off
that
the
move.
legs every once in a while.
Derrick Rose did that jump stop move 85 times a game. It's always risky. He just landed awkwardly.
Oh, if
Speaking
only
of
you
D
could
Rose,
go back in
he
time.
needs to come back too. I need him to get back on the Knicks too. Kemba's
Yeah,
out
that
there
could help them.
because they
That
need a
could
point
help.
guard. They need a point guard. Simple as that.
Exactly. So you trade for Russ. Everything. Yo, we'll ship Randall and D Rose back. Bam.
Kemba off the bench.
Kemba off the
Yeah.
bench. Russ starts.
I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I love Russ in New York. I think that's a perfect spot for him.
You keep. I mean, no, I just said you trade Randall, but you keep RJ. Then you get to plug Obi Toppin in.
Yes, I see. I just hate how the Knicks have so many good young guys that just aren't touching the floor, man. It's
See, well, listen,
so stupid.
GM
McBride,
Connie. What can I say?
I love it. I
Because
love it.
basically, what you're saying is everything I've said is genius.
Yeah, I mean, I
Genius.
love it. It's beautiful for the Knicks. But
Now
will it happen?
McCollum, I don't know what happens with him.
McCollum, it's going to be interesting. I think him and Nurkic are definitely either going to be traded in the next couple of days or in this offseason. Because if you're getting Red Norman, Powell, and Rocco like that, you're basically folding on this current team. And CJ, I mean, they're young pieces. They have a couple decent young pieces. I think Anthony Simons has shown this season that he can be a legit point guard in this league. He's very good. Nazir Little, he's injured right now, but he's shown him a lot too this year. So it's not like they don't have any young players at all. But I think if you can flip CJ and Nurkic for some picks and maybe a young asset, I think those are two guys that can be on contenders and really contribute a lot, especially CJ as a spot up shooter or off the bench as a 6-man. Same with Nurkic. Nurkic is a good 5. I think he does a lot for a team. Obviously, he's not Joel or Jokic or Cat, but he's a serviceable big man for sure. So it'll be interesting to see when they do it. I don't think it's an if anymore. I think it's just when.
Well, I saw CJ just joined, and you just missed a little bit of Nick talk, CJ. So if you're listening right now, I said, bro, just send Randall a couple pieces over back to the LA Walkers, and get Russ back there. You got your point guard. You got trade D Rose and Randall. You get Westbrook starting, Kemba off the bench, even though Tibbs doesn't like him. And then bam, you have to play Obi Toppin more now. I mean, CJ. I'm just saying, I don't hate it.
I know CJ agrees with you. He was saying on Twitter the other day, he said he's tired of Tibbs, he's tired of Randall, said they got to be gone, man.
I'm a big fan of CJ's Twitter. Big fan.
Oh yeah.
Thoroughly entertaining. Thoroughly. But all right, we're gonna see what happens. Trade deadline, like I said, is Thursday. Hopefully it's active because guess what? When it's active, things are more fun. Now, we're gonna move on here to something that at the moment I'm mad about. I'm mad, but determining on where it goes will determine if I stay mad. Josh, you just casually threw in QB rankings right now.
You have had access to the doc since 1 p.m. Central Time.
Well, listen, I'm not going to just automatically add myself in. I'm not selfish.
You could have. I would just put it there because
are we
I had a
talking
feeling.
NFL quarterbacks right now, or are we talking college coming in or something like that? Are we getting ready for the draft?
We're starting with I did one of those tier lists. I'm not going to share on the screen. I'm just going to read it off. The tier maker. But I'm also going to talk about rookie quarterbacks, incoming rookies after this. But I do have my tiers for current NFL quarterbacks.
You're not even going to share it?
No, because I know if I sent it to you, you wouldn't share it on your screen. And my computer is all right. I'm going to text it to you, and you can bring it up.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Now I'm excited. I'm excited to see Josh's tier. Maybe you'll do your.
Well, I have to break it down too because people may misconstrue because of where certain people are at.
Well, now that you're doing a tier list, I might have to come back next week and make my own.
Also, I have to say that Alex Smith, there was no Taylor Heineke or uh, Jameis Winston. So Alex Smith represents Taylor Heineke. Drew Brees represents Jameis Winston because there were no pictures for either of those men.
All right, hold on. Let me see if there's a way.
Well, I'll do my incoming draft rookies while you're doing that.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, so I saw a list earlier about the incoming rookies, and it was just I obviously people think this class is going to be terrible, so we'll have to see how it all pans out. But my rankings, how I'd rank the quarterbacks, I think Malik Willis is without a doubt to me the best quarterback in this draft. I know people have worries about his accuracy and decision making, but he makes up with that with his mobility. If you watch the Senior Bowl, he had the best plays of the whole game in the first quarter. So I think Malik Willis is for me the best quarterback, and I think Matt Corral is the second best. I don't think I think not. It's not that I don't think Kenny Pickett's good. I just think his receivers were really good
Wait,
in
you can
college.
make a PowerPoint on StreamYard now?
That is pretty cool.
That's kind of tough. Might have to do one of
But
these days.
I don't have a problem if people have Pickett over Corral. I just think Matt Corral showed me more with not as much. I think Pickett's weapons made him look a lot better than he actually is. And Sam Howell, I mean, 2 years ago, Sam Howell was probably going to be a clear number one pick in this draft, but he had a couple down years. Not really, I mean, not down years, just not as good as when he first came onto the scene. So I have him as my fourth best, and then Desmond Ritter. I think he can turn into a really good quarterback too. Uh, but I don't know. It's just Cincinnati was a very good team. Uh, a lot due to him, but I just think these other guys are more talented than he is. And I think the last two quarterbacks, if a good team drafts them, Carson Strong and Bailey Zappi, I think they can turn it. I mean, Bailey Zappi just broke all Joe Burrow's records from the best college season ever. Just broke all of them. So I think he's got a good chance. These are guys that threw the ball a lot, but just didn't play good competition. Carson Strong from Nevada, Zappi from Western Kentucky. They're not on TV. They're not at these big name schools, so you don't see them a lot. But I think if the right team drafts them, they could develop into pretty solid quarterbacks. But yeah, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Pickett, Howell, Ritter, Strong, and Zappi. That'd be my rankings. And please, Panthers, if the O tackle you want isn't there, please draft Malik Willis. Please.
Josh, it's not going to work for me. So you're just going to have to deal with it.
All right, I'll just read it. So, my first ranking, just the best, obviously, and I'm going to say if Tom Brady didn't retire, he'd be in that category too, just so because I know Connie. Yeah, but these are guys that are just freaks of nature at the quarterback position. If they're on your team, you're a Super Bowl contender. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I think those three are in their own category. I don't think anyone's there yet. So the next one are guys that are borderline that, but they're very good. Like you get them, you're a playoff team. You're not contending unless they go on runs, like we've seen from Joe Burrow, who's in this category. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, and Kyler Murray. I know people probably don't think Kyler belongs there after his playoff game, but I still think he is very good and up in that category. Same with Lamar. People probably don't think he belongs there, but I think they're just hating. But yeah, guys like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Russell have shown it that they can be winning games with just their arms. So I think those guys belong there. Matthew Stafford was almost on that category, but I don't. He's in this category. These guys, if you put a good team around them, a really good team around them, you can get to a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Dak Prescott. I think those are guys that are very good quarterbacks, but they need a good team around them to be successful. The other guys, I think you don't need an amazing roster to be good. So, and then the next ones, I didn't really know what to title this, so I just said it good sometimes. Like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, and Carson Wentz. Those three, I think, are so interchangeable with each other. Next tier, this is just looking for a quarterback. These are bridge guys that you're okay with having if you're looking for a quarterback. Taylor Heineke, uh, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater, Jimmy G, Baker, Cam, Jameis. Those are guys where you're like, all right, if this guy's our quarterback, we're looking at the drafts. We're looking at going and getting someone who's unhappy where they're at. They're serviceable guys, but you don't want them long term. And then I didn't put the rookies anywhere, obviously. Too early to tell. And included with all the rookies are Tua and Jalen Hurts. I think they both had really good years, but it's too early to really tell what they're going to be. Obviously, I mean, this. Do the Eagles still have their offensive coordinator? Or is he gone?
Um, I want to say he's there.
Because if he is, this is the first time since high school that Jalen Hurts will have the same offensive play caller. First time since high school. Never had the same play caller at
Literally,
Alabama. Never had the same play caller in Philly. So this will be the first time for that. And Tua, I mean, he showed a lot to me this season when he was able to get a clean pocket. Him and Waddle, I love that duo. I think they got a bright future together, but it's too early to tell for me. Just really 1 year. Both these guys really just played their full rookie season. Like they've only got under basically 20 games starting. So yeah, and then free agents, backups, guys. I kind of want these guys to also be with the you're looking for a quarterback, Gardner Minshew and Fitzpatrick. I think those are guys that you know they're there. And then the last category, Sam Darnold. He's just trash.
That's foul.
You don't even want him to be there just as a bridge quarterback. Unfortunately, we do have him as a bridge quarterback, and we're paying $18 million to do that. So, yeah, those are my rankings.
Kind of a bad guy for that last one, Josh. You're a bad guy.
I'm not a bad guy. He is a bad guy. Matt Rule's a bad guy. Right. Matt Rule's a bad guy.
Only change I'm making to the list, right? And it might be a bold one. I don't think it is. I listen. It might be because I'm higher on him than some are. But I'm throwing Justin Herbert into the best category. I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't blame him. I almost put Joe Burrow up there just because of the playoff run. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I'm saying. These guys are borderline there. Like, they could easily have a good season, and they're up there with those guys. Like, before this season, Lamar's up there with them for me. Lamar's right there with them. So,
yeah, he's right there in that pretty good category for me.
No. And Russ, I mean, Russ had a down year. That's why he's not in that category either.
You know what's crazy? Everybody's saying Russ had a down year. He had 26-5 this year.
He had a down year.
Well,
it's the eye test, Connie. It was an eye test. He had a down year.
Oh, no, we're not allowed to do that, I've been told.
DK not getting touches for whole games in a row? Nah, down year, bro.
We're not allowed to do the eye test around here, I've been told. Numbers only, baby. Numbers never lie, right?
Yeah. What are some of the stupid now? I was gonna say Raptor, but that's an NBA stat. Like that's an actual NBA stat is Raptor percentage. Hate that shit, bro. Come on. Just watch the games.
What is this little update I'm just seeing right here? Amanda Nunes said she had injury to both knees ahead of her loss to Pena.
Tell you what, her knees had nothing to do with that fight, so that is irrelevant. Had nothing to do with that fight.
Man, Josh said, didn't ask, don't care.
Nah, didn't ask, don't care. Win the next one. Lost me money, Amanda.
No, this man, Josh, no sympathy. No sympathy at all.
If she was taking leg kicks, to that area, and she showed signs of it, then nah, she just got gassed. She was used to winning all the time, just had a kid, wasn't training as hard, that stamina was low.
Yeah,
Pena probably had a Rocky montage of workouts before that fight, so
I'm crying. Yeah, I don't hate the list though. I think maybe I'll bounce back, make one. I don't know. We'll see. Because like I said, I agree with it. Maybe this offseason we make a tier list each week.
Yeah, we should.
Or,
that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to start with quarterbacks and do like running backs, receivers, and then like offensive line as a whole and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we do an individuals, couldn't tell you.
Best left guards in the league.
But I was watching a TikTok about Larry Allen, bro. You want to talk about a grown ass man?
Man was mobile too.
Different.
You see him pulling, bro? Get out the
Different.
way. Get out
Man
the
was
way.
tracking down people on interceptions.
Yeah.
Like for what? All right,
Beast.
well, let's see. Something, you know what? I can't even say let's see because I don't think anybody in their right mind actually watched the Pro Bowl.
I did.
Did you really, Josh?
Yeah, all of it.
You know, I'll save my full breakdown of the show for our break. But the Pro Bowl is actually what drove me to watch Euphoria. I was like,
That's hilarious.
I kept looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna watch it. I think I'm gonna watch it. I've heard some good things. I think I'm gonna watch it. And then I was like, nah. I was like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Pro Bowl was on, and I was like, you know what? Why am I going to sit here and waste my time? This is awful. I'm not watching it. Put on Euphoria. But you watched it, Josh.
I did. I think first I want to say the skill showdown, excellent.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Just maybe I think why not? Let's just go to Hawaii every Pro Bowl. Let's not do it in cold weather at night in Las Vegas, because some people don't know how to handle Vegas, as we've
Shout
heard.
out
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a video to go along with that as well.
Yeah, that's not good.
Now, have we
not
figured out if this was male or female that he assaulted?
I believe it was a male. That is what I've heard.
Well, you know,
I watched Ian Rappaport was on the Pat McAfee show. Said suffered a broken orbital bone, so that is not ideal. But yeah, I think let's just go to Hawaii. I mean, if you're gonna force them to play an extra football game, I mean, and I've loved how they said like
football game.
Well, it was a type of football game. It sucked. It did suck. No one was tackling. There were about 900 interceptions. I mean, every play was an interception. And they also added a random rule. After you score, you get a 4th and 15. And if you get it, you get the ball back. And I didn't know that. And so I see AFC gets a pick 6. I go grab a water bottle. I come back. It's their ball again. I'm like, what the hell happened? So get rid of that shit. First of all, that sucks.
You know what that is?
That sucks.
But you know what it is?
No.
That was the Ravens' idea for, instead of onside kicks, have a 4th and 15.
That's got to be way longer than 15 for an onside kick in a game like that. Because think about the odds of getting an onside kick, though. Like 4th and 15. Yeah, but
think about, that's the whole point. They were saying it was impossible. So let's just have a 4th and 15 play, and if we get it, we get to keep the ball.
It should be like 4th and 25 or something. Because 15 is doable. 15 is very doable.
I think it was only like a 22%.
Well, they went like 0 for 7 to start. Like they didn't get it.
See, maybe it's a good idea then.
But that was a Pro Bowl. Like could Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Mahomes in a tie game. Bowl.
Nobody's even trying on defense, and they still went over.
I'm just saying it's a stupid rule, and I don't want to see that shit anymore. It sucks. But I do like the idea of testing out possible new rules in the Pro Bowl. I think that's kind of cool. Testing out some ideas that might make the league better. But first of all, if you're going to have a game like that where they're just playing two-hand touch, no one's getting hit at all, let's get some Hall of Famers, some legends in these games if they want to play. Like let's get some old guys in there. If these guys don't want to play. I mean, Herbert won MVP and he didn't even care, dude. He was just out there doing what he's supposed to do, but no one cared. I mean, Kyler was throwing the ball to Max Crosby's face the entire game. It was tough to watch. It almost had a chance to be kind of cool. But then Mac Jones had to go and do a gritty, which is the stupidest shit I've ever seen too. Pro Bowl quarterback Mac Jones.
First of all, calm down.
I'm kidding. It was pretty cool. I was
going to say, don't talk it now. After that, he might officially be my quarterback.
But then he had to convert the 4th and 2, where instead we could have gotten at least like a clutch situation, like someone that could tie the game and go to overtime or something. Maybe test out some overtime rules in the Pro Bowl if you get there. Like, let's give the other team a shot after the team scores. Maybe we could test that out.
I think that they were technically going to test something for the overtime, but like, what were the odds that the game was going to go to overtime?
Yeah, well, I mean, if Mac Jones didn't throw that 4th and 2 conversion, it was a 7-point game, and they would have got the NFC would have got the ball back.
Yeah, but do you really think they would have kicked it?
Kicked what? The field goal, the extra point? Yeah,
I feel like they would have just went for 2.
No, I think they would have kicked it. Because the NFL would have been like, we want to try something in overtime, kick the damn field goal.
They wanted to try it anyway, and they blew them out by 20.
I don't know. It sucked. The game sucked. And I don't know why it's gone this direction. The Pro Bowl used to be so good. They used to actually play, and it used to be like, hey, we want to beat you guys. And
So that's
now
what
the
I'm
only
saying.
people that said that, Max Crosby was the only one that was like, no, I'm out here to win. And you could tell because he had a pick. I think he had a pick six. He knocked down like 4 passes. He had a couple sacks, and he won MVP because he was the only one out there playing. It was kind of annoying. I don't know. If they're gonna play like this, at least make it. Maybe get Kevin Hart out there running routes against like somebody. Like I don't know. Just make it entertaining at
Max,
least.
make it like the celebrity basketball game.
Or get Kevin Hart in the booth commentating. Do something different.
Yeah, it's a rough watch. Like I don't understand how anybody watches it. Like I really did try. I was gonna watch it, like I said, and then that's kind of like it's just not football. Like, and I don't know how you change it because obviously, then you got everybody like all the players going to Twitter and like, oh, you think, I saw Trent Brown tweet about it. He was like, oh, you guys think that with being this close to free agency, we're gonna hurt ourselves, for some stupid game or whatever, blah blah blah. And it's like, listen, I understand, but like,
The winning players on the winning team got an $80,000 check. That's a reason to play. $80,000. I mean, I know you're making millions, but a free 80,000 for playing. That's pretty dope if you ask me.
yeah, and then you got all the old players too, like Shannon Sharp and Dion came out where like this is literally useless to watch, and I don't like listen, I don't know how you really solve it because football kind of is the one sport that doesn't lend itself to an all-star game.
Hmm.
Like basketball, you can still kind of play basketball for an all-star game. Soccer, you could probably do the same thing. Hockey, they kind of do it too. They don't play like a full 5-on-5. They do a 3-on-3 of like each division.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mean, and obviously, listen, as boring as some people say baseball is the best all-star weekend for me now. Like easily. Home run derby is better than probably everything at the skills challenge.
Dunk contest
Uh,
used to be better, but now I
yeah,
think the
dunk
derby's
contest used to
probably
be
the
good, but
best.
now it's awful. So a home run derby's amazing.
Best
I
like
mean,
challenge, yeah. Yeah.
uh, and then honestly, I think the All Star game itself is better than all the other All Star games because baseball is the one sport where they can actually just play like they normally would.
Hmm.
Like because you still have pitchers trying to not get embarrassed and have somebody hit a tank off of them,
Hmm.
and you have batters up there not trying to look like an idiot by getting struck out with 3 fastballs in a row. So it's the one sport where like they can actually play and it doesn't take something away because football obviously they don't want to be physical because they don't want to get hurt. Hockey it's the same thing. And basketball honestly the first 3 quarters and before they did this new rule, where like they have to get to a certain score to win. It got to a point where it was pretty bad.
Well, the first year they did it,
It was like 240 and it was like, what are we
last
doing?
year sucked. Last year sucked because they got blown. I think it was Team Curry or Team Giannis got blown out. Like they just got destroyed. But the first year they did it, it did come down to the wire. I mean, not
No, it was really good.
and it didn't exactly end how you want. You don't want a game to end at the free throw line. Like that kind of was
Yeah, that was
underwhelming.
kind of trash.
But it was at least it was intense for the last minute. Both teams were close to that end score, and it was pretty good. But now, I mean, I hope they find a. They need. Why are we only having 4 guys in the dunk contest? Why do we only have 4? Like, if some young players want to do it too, like get them in there too. It's just
Bro,
stupid now.
listen, I'm never for. Well, actually, let me not say this. That was a weird way to say it. Like, I wish that they could, like, make them do it. I really do. I wish
Yeah.
the NBA would come in and be like, listen, Zion, everybody wants to see you win this. You have to do the dunk contest this year. Like, I'm sorry, I know you probably don't want to, but you're doing the dunk contest. Dunk contest this year. Ja, go do it.
Hmm.
Obi
Yeah.
Toppin was doing 360s
He's
in
in it
college.
again. He's
Go
doing it
do it.
again. Yeah. I think that honestly the best thing about All Star Weekend outside of the game itself is probably the 3-point competition. That's the only thing that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's I mean, the past few years have been really good. It's came down to the wire a couple times. I think Steph won it last year, I believe, and it was close. I think Mike Conley, I think only lost by 1 shot. So the 3-point contest being the best part of the like Saturday night is wrong. Like the skills challenge needs to be better. Last year they put Robert Covington, who's probably the least skillful guy out on the court. He's a very good defender, but skills challenge Robert Covington. Like, what are you think? Man came there for 2 hours, got smoked, and went back home. Like, stupidest thing ever. So hopefully they can get that right again. And I don't know why they got. Do you remember? I don't know if you were watching. They used to do like the shooting stars, and it'd be like a current player,
Yeah,
WNBA player, and a Hall of Famer. That used to be the best. With Chris Bosh, used to kill that. It was the best.
because I remember one year, didn't it was Curry,
Yeah, it was
a
like
WNBA player, then it was his dad.
like that was the best, dude. I don't know why they are making it worse. Like nothing
Oh
is
yeah,
as
that
good
one was
anymore.
cool as hell. I like that one
Yeah,
too.
they just got to bring that back. Yeah. So I mean, the Pro Bowl. I like this. I like the skills day. That they're doing pretty good with that. I love the dodgeball. I like the little catch contest they did. That was pretty
See, the
cool.
catch contest really didn't do it for me.
I just think I don't know. I bet if they were in Hawaii and it was warm around 2 o'clock, it might have been a little bit
Well,
better.
yeah, and
But
that's
it
the
was
other thing
cold.
too that I didn't really understand. Why did they do the skills challenge there when there's an indoor stadium?
Yeah, I don't. And it was cold out, and they were like, "No, we're
Like
still gonna
there's
stay
literally an indoor stadium where you're going to play the Pro Bowl. Why wouldn't you have the skills challenge there too?
outside." Yeah,
Like that doesn't really make sense to me.
yeah, me neither. I don't know. I like the quarterback competition. I thought it was cool seeing Hunter Renfro and Justin Jefferson do it too, even though they both. I think Hunter Renfro only got 1 point. I don't think Justin Jefferson got one at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
And then Russ cooked it. Russ just took it over, hit the first 5 throws,
Nah, Russ went
and won
crazy.
that shit. I like that interception game thing too. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's a good one. I
I
do like
like
that
that.
one.
And the race, I mean, Tyreek didn't try. All
Yeah,
right, let's be real here.
that's the other thing too. Like I hate when these players come out and do something and then don't go 100%.
Yeah, like give
Like
somebody that's
Hill,
going to actually
go out
sprint.
there and smoke them.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like
Michael
if you're going to
Parsons.
agree to do it, why wouldn't you do it 100%?
Yeah,
Because like
and
if
Mike,
you're not going to do it 100%, give it to somebody else.
you could tell Mac Joe. Did you see him at the dodgeball when he tried to catch it?
I did, yeah.
That was so funny. He had it and then he just like threw it.
I still think
Just
the
wanted
NFC
to
cheated
catch.
though.
They definitely did because Trayvon Diggs definitely got hit on the ground when he
Bro,
caught
that's what I'm
that.
saying. I definitely saw one of them get hit and then they just didn't go out. And I was like,
It's nice seeing Luke Kuechly out there. I love that. The homie. Love that.
did you see the lids thing today? Of like the most popular jersey or was it
Oh yeah, I
jersey?
did. I did see that. Yeah, it was best selling jersey everywhere. Tom Brady all
All
over
you
the place.
Ram fans out there, what happened? How you gonna let a 49er?
Yeah,
And
that's tough.
that's the other thing too. It was Kittle.
Yeah,
It wasn't even
yeah,
like a quarterback.
yeah.
They usually get all the love. This man Kittle was the highest seller.
Yeah,
Got a lot of
that's
Tom
tough.
Brady was out there. Well, your boy
Mhm.
McCaffrey was,
Yeah,
repping in
North
his state,
Carolina.
his home state.
But then they show the teams. Cowboys, both Carolinas.
That
Cowboys,
doesn't
both.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Bro, like I said, I've literally in my life. Now I've also never been to Dallas, but like whenever I've asked a Cowboy fan, like, "Oh, where are you from?" They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
California
Not
or somewhere."
Dallas.
I'm like,
Not
I've
even in
never
Texas.
met one Cowboy fan that is from Texas
Me
ever.
neither. Me neither.
It's like, where are you from? Oh yeah, Minnesota. I'm like, bro, you
How
got
do
a
you like the
team.
Cowboys?
That's what I'm saying. How do people in Cali like the Cowboys? You got three teams.
Yeah, you pick one. Come on now.
Even New York. I mean, the Jets and the Giants are terrible. But like, listen, you could go support the Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, I am a Patriot fan, so I can't technically say anything.
Yeah, I can't really comment.
Um,
I'm a Panthers fan in Illinois. I can't really say anything.
did you see that Illinois and Wisconsin were both Justin
Justin
Fields?
Fields. I love that. I
A
know that was
little
awesome.
little interesting there. Maybe your own fan base turned on you, Mister Aaron. Eh? A little
Hey,
turn on you a little.
get him to Indy. Get him to Indy.
Did you see that the Titans aren't going to pursue him in a trade?
Yeah, which is interesting. Very bold choice to say Tannehill over
Yeah, that's
Rodgers.
what, like if you like. It's one thing to say like we tried to trade for him and it didn't work out, but to just be like, yeah, we're not trading for him. And like you said, there are the times where it's like, you know, oh, we're not trading for him. We're not
Hmm.
shopping this player. Us never. And then 3 weeks later, they're somewhere in Canada.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I found that and I was like, you know what? It's a bold move you're making there.
Especially because they're win now. It's not like they have young pieces. Like Julio's not getting
Exactly.
any
Like
younger.
Derrick Henry got
AJ's in his
2 years
prime.
left. I think Henry got
Yeah.
2 years left.
That O line's getting banged up every year. I mean, the defense is
AJ
best it
Brown's
can
hurt a
be.
lot.
Yeah, you might want to go get that man Aaron Rodgers over Tannehill.
I'm almost hoping that Rodgers retires though.
I don't think
Only
he will.
because could you imagine this Hall of Fame class?
That would be
Imagine
insane.
if he retired and it was because you listen. Here's the other thing too. Like I can't believe he hasn't already come out and say there's no way Gronk is playing again.
No, zero
He
chance. I
said
think
it
he's
several
probably
times.
just
The only
assuming
quarterback
everybody
he would play
knows.
for. He said it several times. The only quarterback he would play for would be Brady. So the draft class. I wish it was the draft class so I could watch him again. So right now the class is Brady, Roethlisberger, and probably going to be Gronk. Imagine you add
Mhm.
Rodgers. That's probably the greatest Hall of Fame class of all time.
Yeah,
Because I mean, right now, even with Brady and Roethlisberger and what I'm assuming is going to be Gronk, that's already like up there. That's top
I
five.
mean, I
Probably.
think Brady's in it. If you got Brady, you don't need too much to be the best Hall of Fame class ever. Like, especially if Gronk's
Well, I
with
mean,
him.
I don't know because there are some Hall of Fame classes that got some names in them.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I mean, what
But
was a couple of years ago? There was a really good one.
you know,
I don't
it's
remember who it was.
best NFL Hall of Fame class. Ooh, look at that! 10 extraordinary Pro Football Hall of Fame classes. Let's see, we got the class of '63. I don't know any of them.
Yeah, that's way too far.
71. All right, how about we hold on? Let's see here. I got a little bit of an ad. I mean, this one, Eric Dickerson, Ozzie Newsome, and Lawrence Taylor.
That's pretty good.
That's a class right there. This one, Dan Fouts, Larry Little, Chuck Noll, Walter Payton, and Bill Walsh.
That is decent.
Like that's a draft. That's I keep saying draft class, bro. 2004 was John Elway and Barry Sanders were in it.
That is pretty
So
good.
that's good. Then we got 2010 was Ricky Jackson, Dick LeBeau, Floyd Little, John Randall, Jerry Rice, and Emmett Smith. Woo!
Yeah, that's a good class.
Now
See, I think
that's
volume, the amount of people in there, like if it's just Brady, Gronk, and Ben, it's gonna be tough to beat some of those classes with like 7 amazing players.
yeah. And then like we got Richard Dent, Marshall Falk,
Because who else are
Deion
finalists?
Sanders, Shannon Sharp.
Will Larry Fitz be in that class with Tom Brady?
I don't think he ever technically retired.
He took the year off, but he didn't retire.
Yeah, I don't think he retired. So like Larry, hurry up and retire so you can be in that draft class.
Yeah. Come on.
If I say draft class one more time, I swear I'll end the stream next time I say draft class. I really will. I can't stand it. Well, you know what? It's a good thing we're going to the next segment then, because apparently I need one. We're going into our little bit of a break here, people, because of course we love our sports, but we like talking about other things too. And listen, it's the week before, for all the Jersey Shore stuff that I've been watching recently. And if you know, you know, this week's episode was the shirt before the shirt, as they used to say on Jersey Shore. We got there's like an actual word for what the second to last episode is. Penultimate? Yeah, penultimate. Something like that. Episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And by the way, Josh, after watching this, I'm sorry. I don't know if I said it on stream or if I said it to somebody else. This should be called the chapter of Boba Fett. It really should be.
Well, listen, I think people need to understand that, like, this isn't supposed to be all about Boba Fett.
But you can't name the show that then.
But even in every series and everything, like a book has chapters. Some chapters are very different.
All right,
some
what
chapters
book got 2 chapters in a row about not about the main character? Josh, I feel like if me and you came on 2 shows in a row and didn't talk about sports.
Are people like you're on that train too? Are you upset that there's
no? See, here's the thing. I'm not mad about it. I just find it kind of weird.
Like
that the
you
show
wanted
is
to
named
see
after
Boba
somebody
was
who's not
getting
in the
his
show.
ass kicked and every fight he was in the first 5 episodes, he's getting his ass kicked. I mean,
Yeah.
I the only thing that I'm upset about is that they introduced the Rancor, and Boba's like, I want to learn to ride it, and then we haven't seen it since. So is he just going to be riding it, and we didn't get to see the training session or anything? That I would be upset about. But like, people got to
This
like
last
if Mando
episode better
just
be like an hour and a half.
yeah, for real. But if Mando just showed up, and like I get people are like, well, in Mando season 3, then we'll find out what he was up to. Like if he just showed up, like we need to know where he was. So we needed that episode of Mando. This
Yeah, but do you
episode
really need a whole episode?
of Mando, yeah, I needed it.
Listen, like I said, I am not complaining because I've seen
I just
people that
can't
don't
believe
like that,
people.
like literally don't like the show, and that I don't understand. Like I don't know how you
Yeah,
don't like the show; it's been fantastic. But
yeah.
like I said, I just found it a little weird that for 2 episodes in a row he's been in the show a combined 10 seconds and said 0 lines. A little weird to me.
But also, like, it's just crazy to me that, like, well, actually, you even said it when the first day we talked about Book of Boba Fett. You said it was a little underwhelming at first. Like, it's not that great.
I
So
wasn't
this picks
the
it up.
no, it does. Did I say that?
You said you didn't say it was bad. You just said like it's not because we just came off Mando and Spider Man,
No, I
and then we
think
go to
no.
Boba Fett.
I think you're no. I think you're thinking about the Hawkeye series because
No,
I
this
said
was
that
a little.
about Hawkeye that I wasn't the biggest fan of like the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I thought you said all right. Yeah, but still, most people did not enjoy the early parts of Book of Boba Fett.
See, I
Most
liked
people
all of
were
it.
complaining. See, I did too, but a lot of people on Star Wars Twitter, you just can't make them happy,
Bro,
dude.
you
They
can't.
you
No,
can't
there's
make them
nothing
happy.
worse. There's nothing worse than like comic book nerd Twitter. Like MC,
It's
like Marvel and Star Wars. There's no pleasing them. No pleasing them.
and the one thing I really want, like, ever since we started talking about Book of Boba Fett, I've been like, I need to see one of these other bounty hunters. I need to see Cad Bane, I need to see Bosk, or I need to see Dengar. And the one I always wanted was Cad Bane because we never had him live action, and he was the most badass character in the Clone Wars series. And outside of Vader's entrance in Rogue One, that was the most badass entrance in any Star Wars show or movie ever. Like that was so sick. I mean,
You capped.
and I
You
knew the
capped.
second
You capped.
who who
Bro, when Luke comes on the last episode of Mandalorian,
for that is badass, but for me personally, this is the most
really,
badass entrance
bro, I
for me
think that's number
personally because
one.
I'm not.
I think that's number one for
It's the
me
most.
ever.
Well, that's not really an entrance. It's an entrance to him in the
Yes, it
show. I'm saying
is.
the first time we're seeing this character live action,
All right,
the
but the
first
Rogue
time
One
ever,
one isn't the first time we've ever seen Darth Vader.
and it is in that movie.
Okay, it was in Mandalorian too. That was the first time we ever saw Luke.
No, all right, we did, but I'm still taking Cad Bane over that for me. Like I'm still taking that. I'm still taking that. I
Listen,
mean,
you can
because
see. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Josh. Ready for this? That's why it's an opinion, and that's
that's
what I
what I'm
was gonna
saying.
say too. Because like I saw somebody tweet, it was like I liked all the prequels and the sequels, and I like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. What kind of Star Wars fan does that make me? And I see some people in the comments being like, "You're just a Star Wars fan. Like it's an opinion. You can like whatever you want." And then there's other people that's like, "You like the sequels and the prequels? What is?" I'm like, bro,
It's
you
insane
good?
to me. Like it's so annoying. And also the people that are saying they're like fixing Cad Bane's look. The man is in his 70s. Like he's pale because he's old as dirt. Like it's so annoying how they fixed him. And I'm like, dude, you
See,
can't.
that
He
was
looks
my other
fine.
thing.
He looks
I looked
fine.
at the Clone Wars one and him. There's barely a difference.
No, he's just a little bit lighter. And people are like, people get mad about that. But then it's like, if you go look at what Count Dooku looked like in a Clone Wars series, his face is this long. Like what do you want from them? That he looked
Bro, and the
great. He looked
Pikes
so sick, bro.
and the
The Pikes
Pikes
look
look
nothing like they
nothing,
did in the Clone Wars.
nothing. They look like fish.
Nothing. Yeah, insane. I mean, they did great with Cat Bane. I think he looks perfect. He's just an old man. Like that's what people got to realize. He's not the badass bounty hunter from the Clone Wars because I mean Darth Vader's dead and he was fighting young Anakin. He was older than Anakin. So I mean, he's gonna be an old guy. But yeah, this episode. I mean, I just can't believe people are complaining. You wanted Boba Fett instead of seeing Grogu, and also the improvement on the CGI of Luke.
Crazy.
Insane. He
You want to
looks
know why that
exactly
happened?
like Mark Hamill. Why?
They like after that episode came out of the Mandalorian, there was some dude on YouTube who made like a deep fake of like the
I
same
saw
scene,
that.
and it
I
was
saw
like 100 times better. And Disney hired him.
that. Hell yeah! I didn't know they hired him. That's badass. Yeah, and it looked amazing. I mean, he looked great. It didn't look like it was not even his face. Like it looked perfect. Uh, yeah, and seeing Ahsoka come back too, and then say that he reminds her of Anakin, man, I was like, God damn it, that hit home. I was like, because Ahsoka was a big part of the Clone Wars too. Like that was so badass to see that. Uh, and then the very end of it is making Grogu choose between Mando and being a Jedi, which I think is bullshit because everyone was telling him to kill Vader and shit, and he didn't. He tried to save him and everything. It's like, you're going to tell Grogu about attachment? You are going to tell, like, come on now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Just let him
so
see him.
tight. I'm gonna be so annoyed though if like he has to choose and like he doesn't.
I'm going to be pissed. I was so sad when he's like, he's right there. He's right there. I was like, God damn it. Just let
See,
us see
but
him.
we got to see how Boba got out the Sarlacc pit, so we're good.
We got to see everything that happened to him and him prepare for war. But when he says at the end of that episode, we need muscle, we got to find out how he gets the goddamn muscle. And now we know how he gets the muscle. We know what Mando was up to. Like it's crazy. Because we would have had to wait until season 3 of Mando to see all that. But instead, we got it right now, which means there's even more to look forward to in season 3 of Mando because we already got this part. We don't have to have a whole episode of what he's been up to. We get
I
to
am
pick up
gonna be
after
real
this
tight though.
finale.
I am gonna be tight though. If Grogu chooses one and like he actually has to abandon the other thing, I'm gonna be so annoyed. You have no idea.
I don't think Luke's gonna make him do that. I don't think because that's crazy. He's never gonna
And
be able to
here's
see
my thing:
Mando again.
how does choosing the armor choose detachment? He's just like, bro, I'm trying to be armored up.
Yeah, like come on, badass. That's Beskar, man. Beskar chainmail. You kidding me? That's badass.
And then that was the other thing too that I saw people like, well, how does he have Yoda's lightsaber? It got destroyed or something. Bro, you think Yoda never made another lightsaber?
Yeah, come on now.
You think Yoda all those years was just chilling on Dagobah, never made another one?
Yeah,
Best
seriously.
best Jedi ever, never made another one. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's why I'm very easy to please when it comes to these things because I'm not a comic
Oh
book
yeah.
nerd. So whatever I see on TV is what I believe. I've never one
See,
time in my life been like, well, that is not canon. I am very upset right now. Like, nah, bro, I'm
there
good.
there have been a couple times during I couldn't name one off the top of my head, but there have been a couple times where I'm like, all right, that's stupid. But it's never ruined. I've never let it ruin it for me. Like it's okay
See,
because
yeah,
they're gonna
like
make
I've
up
done
for
that
it.
too. I've said that too. Like when like in Eternals, we just talked about Eternals a couple weeks ago. When Ajax dies, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I was trying to see more of her.
Right.
Like that annoyed me, but it didn't
Yeah.
ruin the movie for me.
Yeah. I just hate how people let these little things. Like you're really gonna let Cad Bane's skin tone ruin the fact that he's finally live action. Like that's the
Star Wars
stupidest shit I've
racism,
ever
man.
heard.
Star Wars racism, unbelievable.
And everybody need to quit worrying. The guy's not dead. All right, he got shot in the shoulder. He's not dead
That's what I'm saying. The other guy's
because he's
dead.
got it.
Shot him 3 times.
Yeah, I hated that guy. He's the reason that I'm blanking on his name, but he's the reason he got shot. He drew first. Like, are you kidding? I mean, Cad Bane was winning that regardless of who drew first.
Of
He was
course.
winning that shit. But I mean, that guy was so stupid.
I'm excited to
Glad
see
he
what
died.
happens next week, though. Very excited.
Oh yeah,
Because I mean,
like
you
you
got to
said, it
think
better be an hour and a half.
maybe Luke. Maybe he chooses the chainmail, right? Goes back with
Hmm.
Grogu.
That's what I'm thinking. Everybody's assuming he's gonna choose being a Jedi, but what if he comes
Yeah,
back with the
goes back.
chainmail
So
on?
Grogu goes back with Mando. Luke senses he's in trouble, pulls up with him and maybe some, characters. Because you got to think who's alive during this right now.
Yeah,
Luke is
yeah.
young, which means Leia's still
There is a
chilling.
young Kylo Ren somewhere. There is a little Kylo somewhere.
Han is still chilling. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. And if they could CGI Luke like that, yeah, I think Han Solo's gonna look like Han Solo. I think they can get that done.
I'll be gassed.
Also, I mean, it's going
Because
to be
low key, like I
cool
said, I
seeing.
never knew who Cad Bane was. So when I saw somebody pulling up like Western style, I low key thought it was Han Solo for a second.
No, I knew the second I saw him because I saw the cowboy hat. I was like, "There's only one man that's wearing that. Only one man."
There are some
See,
rumors that Mace
Mace,
Windu survived that window
well,
fall, and I'd be
I
so happy.
see because we had that little flashback of Order 66 and Grogu, behind the Jedi. Who saved him? We don't know who saved him yet.
I know.
So we got to find that out. And also, I
Yeah,
never
but
finished
didn't
watching.
Windu die
He got thrown out
before
the
Order
window by
66?
Palpatine. He got thrown out the window by Palpatine
Yeah, but
right
isn't that
before it
before
happened.
Order 66?
Yeah, like right before. But there's no one knows if he's dead or not. It's been in comic books that he's not, but it's never been confirmed.
Bro, could you imagine?
But then also, I've thought about it at the end of Rise of Skywalker when you hear all the voices, you hear Mace Windu. So that could be confirmation that he's dead or that he's a badass Jedi who
Well, I
can
mean, that's
do
also
that.
how many years later?
Long
He was
time.
old
But
anyway, right?
I mean, not that old. He wasn't that old. I mean, if Yoda lasted
Well,
all
Yoda's
the
a
way,
different species.
that is true. He does live way
Because
longer.
you got to remember what Luke said. He said, a short period of time for you is a lifetime for others.
Yeah, but I think,
Luke
I
dropped
mean, Mace
bars.
Windu, he probably was dead at the end of Rise of Skywalker by then. But you're right. He could have been alive earlier than that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And also, I mean, Boba Fett, the dent in his helmet is from Cad Bane. And I haven't watched Bad Batch, but there is a fight between Cad Bane and Fennec Shand in there. So,
Ooh.
yeah, that's kind of a reunion for old enemies and stuff. So I just can't wait to see. I hope Cad Bane launches up. He's got jetpack boots basically, and I can't wait to see him and Boba. I want them in the air, man, fighting each other and shit. That's
And
gotta be,
Mando.
yeah,
Nah,
Mando with
I
the
just
black
want to see
dark saber.
Chrysanthemum pull up and rip somebody apart.
Yeah, that'd be
Chrysanthemum's cool.
badass.
So. But hey, let's finish out the show with something that, don't worry, people, we didn't forget about. We Listen, we are well aware that it is Super Bowl week, okay? But you gotta see, this is what we call programming. You put it at the end of the show. So the people are like, yo, did they not talk about the Super Bowl? And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, they're talking about it right now. You got to stay the whole time to see what we're talking about, huh? That's right. That's right. Let's see. Well, I got one more. All I want to see is a purple lightsaber stab through one of the mini bosses and Mace Windu pulling up the
Yeah,
signature Samuel Jackson motherfucker.
there's no chance. No, there's no shot they give us Mace Windu after giving us Luke, Ahsoka, and Cad Bane. I hope I'm saying that. Maybe I jinx it. Who knows? But I think there's no way they bring that out. That'd be insane. But it's Dave Filoni, so you never know what that means. He's saved Star
Dave
Wars.
Filoni's killing the game.
Yeah.
Killing the game. But yes, people, it is Super Bowl week, and we're going to tell you how each team is going to win. Because right now, for me, the main question is, and honestly, it's the same thing on both sides, believe it or not. But I'll start it off with how the Bengals defend the Rams wide receivers. And to me, I think I'm going to live and die by the old adage. I refuse. Not cola, refuse to let Cooper Kupp beat me. I'm not letting it happen. Listen, I'm very, 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 very well aware that Odell can beat you. I'm even aware that Van Jefferson could. I'm fine with that. I am absolutely okay with either one of them beating me because I am not letting Cooper Kupp go for 160 and 2 touchdowns and me be the reason. Because here's my thing. Like, to me, that's almost unacceptable. Like, when you let the number one target be the reason that you lose, that just means you're bad at game planning in my head. Like, and I know that's not the real answer, like the true answer probably. But when you know somebody's threat going into the game and you probably game plan to take that threat away and then they do it anyway, it's like, okay, well, there goes that plan. And like I said, that's easier said than done because they're such big threats because they do it anyway. Like, obviously Cooper Kupp, by the end of the year was being game planned for and probably double teamed, and he was still doing it anyway because you're not going to double team on every single play. I understand that, but I'm telling you right now, I'm putting whoever the best corner on the Bengals is, and I'm giving them safety help over the top or linebacker help underneath every single time that I can. I'm not letting it happen. Because if Cooper Kupp goes for 165 and 2 touchdowns, there's no way I can look at myself and be like, damn, I did a good job, but he's just better. If he goes for, 60 yards or something like that, but Odell goes for 120 and 2 touchdowns, 10 catches or something like that, I can be like, you know what? We really did try. We probably just didn't have the personnel to line up with every single player. But I can't
Mhm.
I can't let Cooper do it.
Yeah,
And
I
Justin,
agree.
see, that's the thing. You're probably right. You were probably right. But uh, I'm doing everything in my power to double cup on literally every single opportunity I can because I can't wake up the next day and be like, damn, their number one playmaker is the reason we lost.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. Obviously, trying to shut down Cooper Cup is the reason, but I don't think it's so much not letting him get the ball. It's you can't let him get those yak yards. You cannot let because that's where he killed the uh the 49ers. It was his yak yards. He was making people miss, and
Most in the
you
league.
just kind of yeah, you got to make sure you have guys around him just at all times. Like don't want to play press man. I think that is a bad idea against these two receivers. And obviously, it's not realistic to play too high every time. That's just not realistic. So it's going to be tough for them. So I think it's just limiting yards after catch. Try to force them to run the ball. I think that's going to be tough because obviously Cooper Cup is Matthew Stafford's safety blanket. He's also the best receiver in the league at the moment. So it's it's going to be tough for them. So I don't think it's so much as like you can't let him beat you because he's going to beat you a few times. There are going to be a couple
Yeah.
big plays from him, but it's just about limiting those as much as you can. That's going to be the number one choice, but their secondary is pretty weak. I don't think Eli Apple is up for the test of Cooper Cup. So I agree. I think trying to, you're going to live with if Van Jefferson beats you. If you're going to have to live with that if you make some big plays. Just be happy it's not Robert Woods out there because you're cooked if that was Robert Woods instead. So
Yeah.
it's going to be tough for them, but yeah, I agree. I think just make someone else beat you but Cup.
And then secondly for me is, how the Bengals offense doesn't get absolutely mollywopped by the Rams defense. And that's another one where, and you kind of go back to to this comment where it was, Titans couldn't beat him when they got sacked 9 times. It really might be one of those games again. Like he really might get sacked 9 times again. And I've seen the key to beating that. I've watched Tom Brady for however long I've watched football. You get the ball out quick. And the problem with actually I don't even think it's a problem because I think they do adjust a lot. Is with the Bengals is they do like to play downfield. I think they led the league this year in big. Actually, no, I think the Raiders, which is really weird, or some weird team led the league in like big plays or something. But I think the Bengals were up there as well with like 40-yard passes and things of that nature. So I think that you just have to get the ball out quickly. Some wide receiver screens to Jamar Chase, get him in open space, some slant routes, some crosser routes, a screen to mix in here and there. And here's the other thing that you're going to have to do that you're probably not going to want to do after about 30 seconds because it's going to get stuffed. You have to run. Like you cannot sit there and just say, "All right, Burrow, pass the ball
I
55 times."
disagree. I disagree. I think if that run
Really?
game, all right, I think Aaron Donald's going to clog the fuck out of the middle of the line. Like that's obvious.
No,
But
I
if
agree.
it's not working, you have to just try to go to the outside. If you're going to run the ball, it has to be outside zones or pitches. It's got to be something like that. But if you find out early that Aaron Donald is not playing around, which is going to happen, you can't run the ball. There's just no point in it. You're wasting downs. It almost happened with the Chiefs. They were wasting downs running the ball with Joe Mixon. It's just not worth it to waste those plays when you could just swing it out to Jamar, swing it out to Tyler Boyd. See if you can get 3 to 4 yards on a receiver screen, That's kind of the same as getting a run up the middle for a few yards. So maybe just try doing that instead. I think Burrow needs to throw the ball a lot. I'd rather have this game in the hands of Burrow than trying to get a run game going, because I just
All
think
right,
that's
but
going
you
to be
see, here's my thing. Here's my counter argument to that. When you have a bad offensive line and a great defensive line, it's already going to be a bad enough matchup as it is.
Mhm.
But now, can you imagine if they know that they don't have to try and stop the run? So those linebackers, can, play back in coverage and really let, that front four, front five, or whatever they want to do, just full steam ahead. They don't have to try and be disciplined and stay in run lanes or anything. Like, imagine Aaron Donald every single play knowing that he can just go to the quarterback. He doesn't have to try to stop a running back coming up the middle. Or Von Miller, every single play, just, all right, go off the edge and get to the quarterback. Like,
But I
I
think they're already
understand that you
prepared for
are
that.
probably going to run the ball, or you're probably going to pass the ball more. And I understand that, and I get that, and I would do that. But to abandon the run game, I can't see it, because I literally think you're going to get them killed.
It's not. I just don't want to see any runs up the gut. Like, they're not going to work.
Oh
Even
no,
if you put a
absolutely. Like I
fullback in
said,
there,
I like what you said with like pitch plays and
get
things of that
outside,
nature.
get
But
out,
a
leave Aaron
straight up
Donald alone.
halfback dive, I'm good on. I'm good on that.
Yeah, like I get, and you also gotta. I mean, every pass play that you're running out the gun, unless it's play action or something, you gotta have a guy back there with Burrow, two of them to pick people up. Because I speak from experience. Von Miller comes to play in Super Bowls. He comes to play. All right, he's not
And he
gonna
comes to
have
play
an
in
off
AFC
day.
Championship games too. I remember him and DeMarcus Ware bodied
Yeah,
us.
yeah, and Leonard Floyd's gonna come to play too. I mean, that they're gonna send the dogs at him, and they need to be ready for it. And I think, I I just don't think that. I'm pretty sure the Rams are already prepared to lock up that run game. Like, they're probably not even thinking about the run, because I just don't think it's gonna. Joe Mixon's very good though, so I could be wrong. He could make some moves, could do something, but I think getting the ball out to them on the outside is just gonna give you a better chance. Like, there might be a couple plays where he's blown back for 5 yards, but it's better than getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage, if you ask me, because you're at least keeping the defense honest. Like, you got to guard these running backs. And then you can open things up for Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what their game plan is, because it is such a bad matchup. It really is one of those, it's literally like, if you thought the Titan game was going to be bad for Burrow, like, you better be ready to start escaping some pressure and things like that, because you don't have, like, I don't even, like, honestly, like, they had 9 sacks, and I still really can't name anybody on the Titans defensive line. I really can't.
No one guy's last name is Landry. He's very good. I can't remember his first name, though.
I know Byers, their safety. That's literally all I know.
Yeah, and that's a shame on us, because they're very good.
Yeah, they sacked him 9 times, so they got to be somewhat decent. But I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting. But the other interesting thing is how the Bengals are going to stop the Rams, of course. And I kind of posed the same question, or actually no, all right, I lied. We're going to go with how the Rams defend the Bengals. So we obviously talked about the Bengals are going to try and defend the Rams. And here's the thing with that. I saw it in New England, and I think if you can do this, I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, it's still the best strategy out there. Maybe I'm wrong. Very possible. But everybody's going to say, oh, put Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase, blah, blah, blah. Lock down that side of the field, you're good. No. I'm telling you, take your number 2 corner, give him safety help. So you're going to double Chase now, and then you put Ramsey one-on-one with Higgins or Boyd or whoever it wants to be on the other side of the field. So now you have your number 1 receiver probably taken away because of double coverage, and your number 2 is now taken away because it has Jalen Ramsey on him. And I saw this in New England. It was Darrelle Revis and oh my gosh, he was on the Seahawks.
Brandon Browner.
Yes, Brendan Browner. They used to take Darrelle Revis, put him on the number 2 receiver, put Brendan Browner on the number 1, play Patrick Chung or Devin McCourty over the top, and it worked. It worked very, very well, and that's exactly what I would do in this situation, because this is another one where if you let Jamar Chase beat you, I'm also not going to be able to look at myself respectfully in the morning. I'm going to be like, how did we let their number 1 target just crap on us in a Super Bowl? Like, I can't let that happen. So with that, I'm telling you, I'm putting Ramsey on the other side of the field, and I'm yeah, exactly. Revis Island, we're going Ramsey Island this time.
I
Ramsey isn't a
think
press coverage guy. Revis was. He's not one. He's not the greatest one on one. He's way more of a red zone guy.
who's the
I'm
Rams
still
two?
taking
Who's
that
the Rams
chance.
number 2 corner? It's like what's his name? I can't remember his name. Something
That's a
Alexander, I
great
think.
question.
Because I'm saying Brandon Browner is a hell of a corner. So if you have him as your number 2, you're okay with just having safety help on the number 1 receiver. I'm not sure the Rams number 2 corner is even with safety help, even if it is Jesse Bates over the top. I'm not sure that's enough to really like take. Obviously, Jamar's not going to be taken out of the game. He's going to be a huge part of this game. Not even enough to make big enough plays on that. I think they got. I think you had to put Ramsey on him. I think Ramsey has to guard him, and I think you leave
That's
him one on
fair.
one, and you trust Ramsey. That's what I think you have to do. I think the key is not letting the other guys beat you. I'm kind of on the exact opposite of what you're saying, but I think you don't let Higgins and Tyler Boyd control this game. I think you say, hey, you think Jamar Chase is better than our best corner, who is the best corner in the league? I think you take your odds with that, and I think Jalen Ramsey is going to come ready to play, and I do think they have him one on one. I think they trust their guy in that aspect, so I think they're gonna trust their guys to get pressure and not give Chase time to get open, because that's another huge part of that. Stopping the receivers also comes with the pressure on Burrow. If you don't give Burrow any time to look at his options downfield, it's going to be tough for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to beat you. But I don't want T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd to beat me. I'll take my chances with Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase.
So do you do the same thing on the other side though, and say I'll take our number one corner, put him on Cooper Cup?
Hell no, because your number 1 corner is not Jalen Ramsey. You can't
Okay,
do you
that's
can't
fair.
do that as the
That's
Bengals. You
fair.
can't do that.
That's
You can't
fair.
do that. You got to play team defense as the Bengals on Cooper Cup. That's a team effort. Because I also think
So
Cooper
you're gonna
Cup
have
is much
Eli
more
Apple.
dangerous. I
Eli
think
Apple.
Cooper Cup. Yeah, Cooper Cup is much more dangerous against the Bengals than Jamar Chase is against the Rams.
Can't wait to see a little Eli Apple versus Odell and
I just hope he gets clowned this game. I just really need it because he kind of redeemed himself after the pass interference in the championship game. So I need him to finish the season as a
nah, he's
clown.
still so annoying.
Yeah, yeah.
Man be talking shit like he's good.
His team
Crazy.
is good. That's the most annoying thing. He never talks shit on the Giants or Saints, but he's
No,
in the
because he
Super
was too
Bowl
busy
now.
getting cooked.
Yeah,
And then finally the last thing for me, and I think it's obvious, is just Stafford not making his mistake. And
yeah.
the problem is Stafford has made some mistakes before. Let's be honest, almost threw away that Buck game. Almost honestly, if the
He
dude, if
did throw. He threw it
Jaquaski
away.
Tart,
He threw it
if
away.
if if Jaquaski Tart knows how to catch, the game's over.
The reason he's in the secondary, Butterfingers, man,
So
brick hand.
he basically threw that game away. And then, listen, is he going to do it in this one? Is he
I
going to
think.
do it in this one?
I think.
And you obviously, if you're a Ram fan, hope not. If you're a Bengal fan, you're sitting there praying that he gives you a Stevie.
Yeah, I think. I think he's gonna make mistakes. He's done it all playoffs. He's gonna make some risky throws because he trusts his guys. Uh, but I think it's. I don't know. I've last week, I said the Bengals are probably going to win for me, and that's just because I trust Burrow in those tight situations more than I trust Stafford, which is tough to say about a second-year player over a guy who's had a lot of tough positions in Detroit. But I've just seen Stafford panic a lot when he's been in tight situations. Outside of that throw to Cup at the end of the Bucks game, I mean, like he's good in the clutch, but
Still unbelievable that they did
still,
that.
just yeah,
They really
some
blitzed.
like that throw that Tart dropped, like that was not only a bad decision, but it was a terrible throw. Like it was
Yeah.
so underthrown and off target. Uh, so I think Stafford's going to make mistakes. It's just how does he follow them up? He's probably going to throw a pick or two. It's just how do you come back next series? Are you going to play better next series like he did against the Niners? It's going to be tough.
Cam Akers a seller. What you mean?
I don't think the Rams are going to have a run game at all. Really, I
Really?
just can't see them because I mean Cam Akers is there, but Sony Michel's ran pretty well for them too, way better than did in New England.
Yeah, but Bengals aren't very good at stopping the run.
I know, but I just don't see them. I don't see either team really running the ball too much. I don't see the run
Hey, that's
game
fine with
being.
me. Runs are boring.
Yeah, I see a lot of, hey, we got guys on the outside. We want to get the ball. Like these are our playmakers. Let's get them going. I see a lot of that this game. But some Super Bowls have been dominated by the run game. A lot of them. Saw C.J. Anderson cook us. So
Well, Josh, there's only one way to end this show, and that would be with our final. Lock it in, stamp it up, bury it until Sunday.
get it.
Final prediction for the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
Oh no, what happened, Josh?
USF just hit end of shot clock 3 to take the lead with 18.5 to go, and I have Temple down 1, 18.5. But
Oh boy.
for my prediction, I think I'm gonna stick with what I said last week. The clutchest ice in his veins rookie kicker is going to continue to do what he's done all postseason. And I think the Bengals get it done 24-21.
24-21. Okay. Listen.
And also, I want the people in the comments to tell me heads or tails. Because I'm thinking heads. I'm leaning heads at the moment.
See, my immediate reaction was tails.
Okay, see, that worries me about my heads decision. I haven't placed a bet yet. I probably won't until Saturday night. But I'm going with heads at the moment, but now a little bit less because you say tails.
Dustin saying heads. Okay.
Yeah. But I also see last year.
And then we got a tails never fails.
Last year, the flip was so bad. It was so bad.
I don't remember it.
Yeah. And Travis Kelce, I think he called heads.
Bengals are taking the whole kit and caboodle. Odell will let the Giants' hands show again. Hey, All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. For me, I've doubted the Bengals almost all year. And I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go with the Rams. Listen, I just can't see Burrow surviving a Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd.
No, you didn't.
Oh, no.
No, you didn't.
Oh, no.
Dribbled it off his foot and went
Oh, no.
So now we have to foul. And I think we're out of timeouts, and it'll be a 3-point game. Dribble it off.
Look at Josh interrupting me during my very passionate Super Bowl speech as well. Unbelievable.
I'm sorry, but it just.
But listen, I've doubted them all year. Didn't think they were going to be good. Didn't think they would, Actually, I kind of came on at the end. I did say that they would beat the Titans. I did think they were going to lose to the Chiefs, so I can't lie to myself. So I just can't see Burrow surviving the onslaught of. Whoa. We got breaking news here as well. What's going on here? I can't see him doing it. So I'm going to go with the Rams in a 30-20 game. I think it's going to be close. I think there'll be like a turnover on down situation, and then the Rams will go down, kick a field goal, make it 30-20. That type, yeah, exactly.
The main reason I'm picking the Bengals is because if you look at the Rams, that Bucks game, I think it should have gone to OT. The Bucks sold it kind of. The 49ers
the Bucks sold,
for sure
like
sold
no one else.
The 49ers sold for sure by dropping that pick. The things have been falling the Rams' way. The Bengals have just fought back and won games. That's all they've done. Things have fallen the Rams' way. Like, that's just how it's gone for them. So I think it stops at the Super Bowl. Just stops.
We're thinking a little overtime banger here. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Hey. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would be a little mad, especially if, like, the first possession they score a touchdown and the game ends because, it's still probably the worst overtime rule that we have. But, who might argue? Anyways,
that would be what a way to end the season if it was an overtime touchdown. NFL would be under fire all off season.
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that like to just play defense.
And I also think it's stupid how they're already like how they decide like it's in LA, but the Rams are the away team. Like that's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's in LA,
But
man.
yet they
Like
get to
they're the
keep
home
their
team.
home locker room.
Yeah, like what? That doesn't make any sense.
Just make the Super Bowl in Dallas every year. They'll never be a home team. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. All right, Josh. Our Super Bowl picks are locked in. They will we'll see how they go. But with that being said, Josh, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and we'll head on out of here.
Yep, follow me on Twitter at Jolin_4. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Head over to Underdog. Use code Gen Z. Connie said at the top of the show, if you do the over-unders, there's Joe Burrow 1 passing yard. You pair that with one other, you can make some good money. So make sure you take advantage of. Oh my God, it wasn't off his foot. We got the ball back. Yeah, but
look at this.
I'm sorry, okay? There's money on this game. 9 seconds. And a charge.
Oh my God.
A charge.
You can't call a charge with 9 seconds left.
No, you can't.
Do it.
You just can't. You just can't. His feet weren't even set. It was a
Look at
step back.
Look at this, Josh. We even got some support for you. Panthers will win the NFC South.
Those odds are insane. Matt, if you really believe that, go put $1 on the odds. You'll get a lot of money back on that bit. Probably thousands.
Call Matt a liar? Unbelievable.
I'm just saying, we're getting a tough one. And there's no one even.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to do my plugs. Josh is distracted over here. Listen, you can find me on Twitter, AnthonyConover_, for all my thoughts on the sports world. Obviously, me and Josh do this show every Monday. That would be at 7 Eastern. Oh, look at this. Getting ready for that for the Knick Jazz game. I don't believe you meant Knickerbockers. I think you meant Knickerbockers.
Knickerbockers.
I want to know who came up with that name. Like, what is it? What even is that?
No clue. No clue. But who came up with the Bing Bong? I mean, it's just something.
Well, Bing Bong was from Side Talk NYC, baby. Greatest thing out there. But what's a Knickerbocker? Like, what is that?
Does it have a definition?
I'm going to look it up right now.
He missed a free throw.
How do you spell Bocker?
Only a 2-point game. A 3 wins.
Oh, what does it mean? Traces to the origin to the Dutch settlers who came to the New World, and especially to what is now New York in the 1960s, Jesus. In the 1600s, specifically, it refers to the style of pants the settlers wore. Interesting development. You guys are named after some pants. What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, follow the Twitter, Gen Z Sports, obviously right there. We're live 7 Eastern, maybe every Monday. Tuesdays, I do the Hard Count, which is an all-football show, shockingly. Focus on football, people. So pull up me and CJ, breaking down everything in the world of football, coaching hires, the Super Bowl, this, that, your sister, whatever, we're breaking her down. Thursdays, I do Backstop Banter, which is the baseball equivalent to the Hard Count. Everything in the baseball world, people. Me and Michael have been doing top 10 lists. We've had some guests on. We're having a grand old time over there. A grand old time. But with that being said, everybody, I appreciate you guys and gals for tuning in. Make sure you check out the pod available everywhere. Give us a rating. Leave a nice little comment for the kids as well. And listen, everybody, we will see you on the next episode.